This is after our Inside Star System review. You guys can check that out on that card that I'll put up in the top right corner. Now, we're talking about our community and how they voted on 2 issues. And I think this is really interesting because I want to talk about the actual development, the actual process. I want to talk about the process in which they're designing from PTU to PU. So within Cloud Imperium, we know that there is a private test universe, the PTU, and we know that there is a PU, the public universe, not the smell. We're not saying PU, although sometimes we do. So we're talking about the process of taking the tested builds that are out there and polishing up to the PU, the public universe. I think that the process needs a bit of tweaking. And I think these 2 polls, which I've put here on our community tab, discuss it perfectly. Now let's switch me over here. Oh my goodness. It's almost like I know what's going on here. So the first poll that we took, okay, was 5 days ago. And I wanted some time to lapse so that we got as many votes as we could, so that we got as much publicity as we could on these particular polls. And the first one says, SIG pushes 3.6 to the PU way too fast, in my opinion. Now, at this particular point in time, I thought that they did. I still kind of do, by the way. What do you guys think? Okay, so I was in the minority on this. Okay, SIG pushes 3.6 to PU too fast. 32% of 163 people. All right, so that's what, nearly 50 people. So 50 people out of 163 people thought like I did. Now, 68% of you said SIG did the right thing by releasing 3.6 to the PU. Now, some people said it because, hey, this is what we got to do. You know, they got to stay on schedule, right? But I'm going to debate this a little bit because I think that there needs to be more attention to the PU in regards to the finished product. Now, people are going to say this isn't the finished product, DG. This isn't the finished product, right? Because it's a game in development. We've heard it 1,000 times. We've heard this kind of, it is a valid line of thinking. It is an actual fact that this is a game in development. However, with the past 3 months of content, we've been focusing on the fact that the PU is the only game that supporters of this game know. It's the only game that they're aware of that they play. Erat says, I thought it was way too fast until I actually played it, and I was really surprised to see how different it was in the PU. Maybe they were testing broken things on purpose. Perhaps they were, Erat. But my kind of counter argument to it is, I think that when we talk about having this game become a reality, is that they need the cash, right? They need the cash. They need as much revenue as they can, and their main revenue stream is what? Would you guys agree that the main revenue stream right now is the ship sales? I mean, I've looked at the data. I hope that you guys would agree with me. It's an actual fact. The most money that they're making as a company are the ship sales. Like, the ship sales are what's bringing in the most amount of cash right now. So in order for there to be more ship sales, I think there's a correlation between ship sales and good experiences with the game. Okay, I've said this on a few videos. But this poll over here, sorry, on this side, this poll almost kind of proves my point. So 68% of people said that, no, it's fine. Like, it's fine. 3.6 was put out, in the proper amount of time. They didn't push it out too fast, right? But let's look at this poll. Because this is almost the antithesis with almost the same amount of votes. So we can kind of relatively say that we have similar samples on both polls, okay? So on this particular poll, I say, do you feel like hover mode works in the 3.6 PU build? If you haven't flown in the 3.6 PU, please don't vote. I didn't want people who haven't flown in the 3.6 PU, okay? So also please feel free to elaborate in the comments below as to your personal experience. Because hover mode seemed to be a game mechanic that most think is broken. Even still, like, I still believe that hover mode is a broken game mechanic. All right, you can try and twist around as much as you want about this, but I still am in the camp that the hover mode is a broken mechanic. I think most of you would agree with me, because some of you are realizing that while you can use hover mode, you have to go around broken game mechanics. Like, if you're shifting from side to side, not necessarily the best when you're strafing, somewhat difficult to use. Some people are upset about it, some people are not, right? RSW says, I enjoy it. It is just a transition from hover to regular flight that is bugs, says RSW. VTOL is an acquired taste, says E-Red. I disagree with you, DG. It takes time to learn, but once you know how to learn it, it is awesome, he says. So that's okay. That's okay. I think that you're going to have a lot of this in this phase. This is very, very debatable. All of the things I'm saying right now are very there's a lot of different aspects of people. Some people are saying like, oh, I hate it. It's completely broken, or no, it's absolutely great. There's a wide array of opinions about hover mode. Now, I have spent my time with it and I have learned how to hover mode. And I can do it. I can do it successfully. I think that I still would call it a broken game mechanic. And I think that one of the things that they need to focus on is before they release these types of new game mechanics into the PU is to make sure that they've tested it with a large enough group of people in the PTU and that those people in the PTU are satisfied with the game mechanic, whatever it is, whether it's hover mode or any other type of game mechanic within it. I think the game mechanics that are highly contention, like highly debated, those types of things that are making people very polarized need to stay in the PTU until there is a general consensus of people that say, hey, I am okay with the game mechanic and therefore maybe we should now slide it over to the PU. I think these types of things need to be thought about when we talk about the process. And this poll over here is kind of like my proof into like looking into it. So here he says, here we have people say no. So 63% of people are actually saying no, hover mode does not work fine in the 3.6 PU. Right? So now we have a general consensus here that says we're not happy with hover mode. That's what it says here, guys. Whether you like it or not, no matter how you're trying to bend it, no matter how you're trying to work hover mode, you are now in the minority if you are saying that you like hover mode and hover mode works fine, because now you're in the 37% camp. Do you see the difference? Do you see the antithesis of the polls? So for instance, on the first poll, we're saying, did you push 3.6 too fast to the PU, Sig? And 68% of people said no, that's fine. 3.6 is fine. Like nobody rushed 3.6. But when I asked the question up here about hover mode, 63% of people, almost the same amount of people, said that hover mode does not work. Do you guys understand that does not work together? Do you guys get that? So what I'm trying to say is perhaps we need to rethink how we go about introducing game mechanics into the PU. Like new game mechanics, I think, need to stay within the PTU until people are like on the mend and saying, okay, yes, this game mechanic needs work, but now I'm happy with it. And then you start to see more people that are voting in the camp that say, yes, hover mode works fine. Once you have people say, yes, hover mode works fine in the in the PU, right? Or in the PTU, then you can slide it over in the PU. So right now, 37% of people will say, yes, hover mode works fine. So you have to look at that because that is definitely a stat. That is definitely a portion of people that are saying they're not fine with hover mode. So interesting, because I'm not, people are going to focus on hover mode. I'm not focusing on hover mode. I think what I'm trying to get across, guys, is the actual process of it, the process of the PTU to the PU, game mechanics that land in the PTU that slide over to the PU. I think that any game mechanic that needs work should stay in the PTU until there is a general consensus of people that say, yes, I do like it. Yes, it does work. And then boom, once it does, it slides to the PU because we are the people that are supporting the game. We are the ones that are actually saying, hey, we're testing these things out. And therefore they should listen to the community and say, you know what, what you're saying is important to us. Now, Erad says, I know a lot of people who hated the hover mode and then started liking it as they started to understand how it works. Yes. Now this poll is about 4 days old, so there might be a little bit more people sliding over to the it works fine camp. So I'm not quite sure, Erad, but we shall see. We shall see, dude. Cash says, well, we wouldn't have live if that was the case. Yes, Cash. I understand. Anak says definitely PTU should be where it's tested and refined, not PU. That's my point. Thank you, Anak. I think is understanding what I'm saying. So thank you, Anak, for understanding what I'm saying. RSW says, but DG, would you rather have a PTU that is always open while the build is still pushed to live? I think so. I think so. You know, that's something that I noticed, RSW. It's a great point, right? Because like when I was in the login screen, I realized, you know, and I've known this for a very long time. I love the new login screen, by the way, that has the PTU and the PU at the same time, where you can log into either. But once the PU gets released, what you'll find is that you can't get in the PTU anymore. So I guess what I'm saying is perhaps the PTU should always be open. Black Intellect 73 says most people who hated it didn't read. Yeah, I'm not really worried about that though. Intellect, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about game mechanics that might be broken. You know, people just click flight rating, expected to be able to master it. I'm glad that it takes time to learn. Don't get me wrong, Intellect. I'm glad that it takes time to learn. I think that like certain issues of flying should take some time to learn. I just don't think it's even after I've mastered it that I think that I would call it a game mechanic that is functional. You know, Anak says PTU should definitely always be open. Absolutely. I think that's what we're kind of learning about this as we continue to go on here, Anak. Erat says, I also noticed that SIG discreetly implemented hotfixes. Hover mode was very erratic. Yes, when it first came out. Yeah, absolutely. Boba says, see, now I think they should do what you are saying, but go ahead and put out the things that are working. Then after the 6 weeks of working on the bugs for VTOL, then put it in. Yes, I think the process needs to be looked at. And that's why I wanted to make this bonus video for you guys, because I wanted you guys to look at these polls and I wanted you to see that there is a definite conflict happening here because it's in the numbers. You see that? Like, I just want to go over it one more time where I asked people, are we pushing out 3.6 too fast? And most people said, 68% said that SIG did the right thing and that 3.6 is fine, that they push 3.6 to the PU. But then we come up here and we talk about a game mechanic, hover mode, and how many people are happy with it. And boom, no. See, no, hover mode does not work fine in 3.6. So you have like a definitely incongruent, there is a conflict here. And I think the conflict happens because game mechanics that are broken or feel like they are broken should stay in the PTU until it is mastered, and then it should be put into the PU, because then you're offering a PU that is a better PU, that is more fun to play. And then if it is more fun to play, what ends up happening, guys? Well, you get better sales because more people want to buy ships. There's a definite correlation between people having fun in the PU and then saying, I want to buy another ship. I want to buy another ship. Now, the more we can streamline the process, right? The more people that are actually buying ships because they're having enjoyable times in the PU, the faster this game will become a game. And that's why I say what I say, because I love the game. And I love you guys too. So thanks for sticking around here, guys. And thanks for the bonus footage. I got to get going. Devin's chomping at the bit. He's super hungry. But you guys are great. And these videos, these community videos, I'm going to keep on doing more of these for you guys. I think it's important that you guys' voices are heard. And I'm going to do my damn best to make sure that your guys' voices are represented. All the good times that we have in the game, all the bad times we have in the game, it's us. And we are in this process for the long haul. So thank you guys. Thank you, RSW. And you know what? I really would always do this because I love creating for you guys. I just love to create, but it also makes it super nice to have you guys around here, and absolutely love all of you. Kelly, how you doing? I just saw you now. Sorry, I was ranting. I was ranting, Kelly. Good to see you, hon. And thank you, everybody. And more content is on the way. These will be 2 videos released on YouTube. And thanks for all the support. Thanks for the subscriptions. And thanks for buying that merch. We got more merch coming on the way. Kelly and I are discussing new designs. Thank you so much, Kelly, for all your help. I super appreciate you. Rocking out the new DG shirt. I'm loving it. And a lot of cool merch in our merch store, guys. So if you want to support me, you can do it that way as well. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here on the Inside Star Citizen Review and this special video that I just wanted to do for you guys, because I wanted you guys to start questioning the process. Question the process. All right, guys, I'll see you very soon.